Hello everyone, I'm Meenakshi Sundaram. You can address me as Meena. I'm the product marketer for Zoho Vault and I'll be your presenter for the day. So we'll be seeing a lot of slides which will briefly explain you about the different steps you'll need to follow to set up help desk and cloud backup integration for your existing Zoho Vault account. So just catch whichever integration would suit you well and also post different questions that you might have at the end of the session. Or even if you have any questions at any point of time, feel free to use the webinar, GoToWebinar's chat console. So you can drop your questions there. I'll pick those questions up and answer them at the end of our presentation when we'll have a Q&A. So on this note, I'll start off today's session. So we'll be starting with an overview about Vault for all our new users, along with a brief list of existing integration. We'll then talk about the help desk and cloud backup integrations, see how these features could help your enterprise perform efficiently, how you can configure these integrations individually, and much more. So like I said, if you're interested in a particular integration that will suit your enterprise more, just watch out for that keenly. So for all the new users and for the people who are trialing out Zoho Vault is Zoho's in-house password manager, and it'll allow you to securely store all your sensitive data in Vault. And all these sensitive data which is stored in your Vault is encrypted by AES 256 encryption. So you can add passwords onto Vault without any worry. And if you ask me if I can only store passwords in Vault, absolutely not. You can very well store your social security number, bank account details, your license details, even healthcare info. And for all you admins out there, you can store your Unix or Windows credentials, store your SSH keys and certificates, and much more. So you can even store critical files in Vault, which will be encrypted as well. And if you'd like to share these stored categories or stored list of items from Vault, you can do so with our secure sharing options. So users can share their passwords or any other secrets with one of four different permissions which we have throughout Vault. So they are one-click login, which will ensure that users directly log in and just have access to the account and not to the password. So this way they can neither view nor edit the password, just access the account with the credentials. And you can allow users to view your passwords as well, or you can even give them modify permission to modify it as well using the modify option. Or if you'd like to give complete access of the password to that particular user, you can use the manage option, which will allow users to even share or delete the password. So according to the different permissions available, choose whichever one suits your needs. And users can also directly log into their web accounts in a single click using our browser extensions. So you need not remember your passwords nor enter any credential while authenticating to online accounts anymore. Sounds cool, right? So we've also started supporting login to popular pages like your Google accounts and Apple and so many other pages which had two-step login. So you can go ahead and try out if you haven't already. Similarly, Vault also supports single sign-on for various applications. So single sign-on lets users to authenticate to applications with just a single click while the credentials are validated at the backend. This feature is readily available for about 100 plus cloud applications right now with Vault, while you can also configure it for other applications that support SAML 2.0 configuration. And with control access, users can be added and removed as and when needed. You can add and remove bulk of users in an instant. This is useful when an employee leaves the company on bad terms. So the moment the user gets removed from Vault, he or she stops having access to any of the enterprise passwords, while you can get to acquire all the passwords that they own. So thereby you can safeguard your organization by only letting the right personnel have access at any point. And you can audit every action made on Vault in real time and also track critical events even when you're away by configuring alert notification for them. So what this does is this will notify you whenever your users, passwords or password groups or any or any option which are critical for you are modified, deleted, or altered in your Zoho Vault account. So you'll get these alerts through your email, so you can always keep an eye on what's going on in your vault. And fine-grained controls is another option that will allow you to specify what features your organization does and doesn't need. So this way you can structure the vault to satisfy your organization's safety needs and exclude options that might not be suitable for your organization. For example, you can enforce IP restriction in a way that only employees who are within your work area that get to access Vault, and you can prevent other people from accessing Vault. So this is something that can be made possible with fine-grained controls. And finally, Vault gives you multiple interactive reports that can be viewed specific to a single user's activity, or can even be viewed as an overview across your organization. So you can monitor a particular user's activity and see all the password categories they access on a regular basis. You can also view the list of unchanged passwords, or I mean, the list of passwords which are unchanged for a long while. Also, the list of passwords which are very weak, and you can also see how weak they are. You have this password assessment report option that will let you view the strength of every password that is present in your organization. If you see a trend wherein all the passwords stored by your users are considerably weak, you can go ahead and enforce password policies which will let users, which will only let users store strong passwords and eliminate weak password, which are pretty much the reason for most of the data breaches that are happening in recent times. So before we move on, let's see how secure Vault is. Zoho Vault follows host-proof hosting concept. So this ensures that all confidential data is encrypted in the browser with AES-256 encryption using the user's passphrase, which only the user knows. So the encrypted data is also securely transmitted over SSL and stored in Zoho servers. We have multiple data centers across the globe to help comply with privacy policies across different regions. For example, an EU user can sign up to Vault from zoho.eu/vault, and their data will reside only in our EU data centers. So this way, they can keep the data where they feel would be ideal for them. Also, all encryption and decryption that happens takes place only in our browsers, while the passphrase that users create is not stored anywhere on the server. So this means that even Zoho cannot access whatever data you store in Vault. So nobody except you can decrypt your data which is stored in Vault. And we can see the different integration options that were available till now. So you can integrate Vault with G Suite, Office 365, Microsoft Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, all of which will allow you to import bulks of users instantly to Vault. And also, like I earlier mentioned, we support SSO for almost 100 plus apps, apart from the apps which you can manually configure as well. We also have integration available with OneLogin and Okta. We have a REST API which will pretty much be available to users in a while. And if you look at the integrations with Zoho apps, you have integrations with Zoho Desk and Zoho Mail. So you can share passwords from Zoho Desk and Zoho Mail without having to, come back to Vault. In case you find a ticket in Zoho Desk and you want to share a particular password with a user who's accessing Zoho Desk, you can very well use our extension which is available there and share the password to the help agent instantly, and you don't have to switch to Vault or, you know, do any other extra steps. Similarly, if you get any password request over your mail, you can use the extension which is available in Zoho Mail, and you can instantly share the password to the particular user in a secure manner with Vault instead of opting to share it by replying to that mail in plain text, right? So these are the integrations which were available till now. So now we move on to the help disk integration that is newly come for Vault. So till now, critical passwords which were protected with access control could only be accessed after an admin's approval, right? So this prevents users from instantly accessing passwords during emergencies or even for genuine reasons. So we've tried to eliminate this drawback with the help desk feature. So we've introduced an option that allows admins to configure auto approval of password access requests. So if the users provide a valid ticket ID from a help desk to access a password, you'll automatically get access to the password if the user satisfies certain criteria. So this will save a lot of time during critical issues where passwords could be a roadblock. So how does this work? So basically, an admin first integrates a help desk with Vault account to establish a secure connection between that particular help desk and Zoho Vault. Admins can then configure help desk validation for individual passwords and let users access this feature. So once this is set up, users can instantly access these passwords by providing a valid ticket ID. So what is a valid ticket ID? That's a good question. So a ticket will be valid if it satisfies the different criteria that an admin can enable from his end. So these criteria can vary from, let's say, if the ticket is of critical priority, or if the ticket is in an open or closed state, or if the ticket description contains a particular critical server's name, and much more. So we'll see more about this in detail. But before that, we'll see the different help desks which are available to be instantly integrated with Vault, and then see the individual steps to configure each of these help desks with Vault. So currently, we integrate with Manage Engine Service Desk Plus on Demand, Zoho Desk, ServiceNow, Zendesk, and Jira. So these are the different options that you can go and integrate with your Vault account. And before we see how to do these, how to integrate these different help desks with your Vault account, let's see how this can benefit you, right? So we'll see a couple of popular use cases that could help your organization in a way where password sharing and password accessing can be made more secure with your available help desk and Vault accounts. So the first use case will be something which could be quite common across your organization or any organization. So in this simple scenario, we'll see that if any user wants access to a particular website, or a server, or any other service, he'll be raising a ticket in help desk and then assign it to a resolvers group, right? With Vault, the admin can share the created password details with the user by enabling access control. The user can then access the password by verifying his identity with the ticket ID which he initially created and requested for access. So what this does is it simplifies and secures all your password requests. So if there was no Vault in place, the admin would probably send the password over mail to the user, or say through the chat box. Not only are these password sharing methods unsecure, if the user doesn't organize his password well, he'll either lose track of his password in the long run or end up replacing the strong password with a weak one. So you can just have a look at this again. So what we'll be seeing here is that whenever you need a new request and you request for it through a help desk, you can make use of this particular help desk integration option. So if you have any questions on this, you can post it. I'll answer it at the end of this session. We'll now move on to the next implementation use case. So this will be very useful for people who use help desk to support customer queries related to your infra support, right? Your servers and issues with any machine that you need to fix through a change. So this ideal scenario works in a way where, let's take this particular case for an example. The customer raises a ticket saying that something is wrong with his server. Let's say ABC server has an XYZ issue. So he creates a ticket and assigns it to the support engineer. The support engineer then looks into this ticket and he's like, you know what? I think I need a change to fix this. I cannot fix this right away. I'm going to need to perform a change, which will then be reviewed by the change authorization body, right? So you'll be having cab reviews that will be going on. So the cab reviews will just review whatever change you proposed. So the support engineer will link this particular ticket and raise a change, and send it for review. So once the CAB board members review this change, the user then goes to Vault to access the particular password for the server. So in this case, what the help desk approval does is it'll validate if the change is in an approved state or not. If the change is in an approved state, the customer, I mean, the user who's going to go ahead and do this will get the access, or if not, the access gets rejected. So you can also make use of our option wherein you can, very well go ahead and request for the access at a later point, which could be a scheduled window of the change as well. So this is another important use case which you can make use of. So let's start off with the different steps that you'll need to see to ensure that you integrate these help desks with your Vault account, right? So in the next few slides, we'll help you generate the client ID and client secret from the respective help desks that you'll need to update with your corresponding help desk option that you see here. So you can ideally go to your Vault account, click on the admin tab and select the help desk integration option, from which you can select the particular help desk of your choice that you wish to integrate with Vault, and then click on edit. So here you'll be filling all your client ID and client secret details that you'll be generating from the help desks. In certain cases, say for Zendesk and ServiceNow, you'll be required to enter your help desk URL. So you'll need to fill that field as well. And also you can find the callback or redirect URL present in your Vault account. So you can make a note of it because you'll need to enter this while generating your client ID and client secret from the different help desks available, right? So let's start with the integration with Zoho Desk. So if you want to integrate your Vault account with Zoho Desk, first log in to the developer console of Zoho and click Add Client ID. Once you click Add Client ID, you'll need to fill in the requested details in this page, which will be your client name. This is about your Vault, so you can enter Vault as a client name. The client domain could be zoho.com. It should be zoho.com since your Vault's domain will be zoho.com. And the authorized redirect URI is what I just mentioned that you could take from your Vault account. So mention that here and select client type to be web-based and click on create. So once you click on create, you will be finding your client ID and client secret generated in your screen. Make a note of the client ID and client secret and click close. Now your configuration is done from the developer consoles end. You can go back to your Vault account and select Zoho Desk and click on edit. So once you click on edit, you can enter the client ID and client secret that you just generated and click on save. And finally, to complete the integration, you select Zoho Desk and click on generate token, and it will then in turn take you to a new window. So in case you are doing this for the first time and you've blocked pop-ups on your browser, ensure that you enable pop-ups on your browser. So once you click on generate token, you'll be taken to a new screen, or rather a new tab where you'll be asked to authorize Vault to access the data from your Zoho Desk. So accept, and then you can go back to your Vault account and click on save. So this will save your settings to enable Zoho Desk integration for your Vault account. It's as simple as that. Next, we'll be dealing with the integration with Service Desk Plus on demand. This is quite similar to what we just did with Zoho Desk. So again, you'll be logging into the developer console of Zoho. You can click on the same client ID, add client ID option. You can fill the client name, client domain, authorized redirect URI, and client type just like before. This could be Vault, Zoho.com, and your redirect URL could be taken from your Vault account. And client type will be web-based. Click on create. Your client ID and client secret will be generated just like that. So make a note of it. Go to your Vault account, go to help desk integration and select SDP on demand. Click on edit. You will be able to fill in your client ID and client secret here. Save once you're done and generate the token like you did before. So now you'll be asked to authorize Vault to access data from SDP on demand. So accept that and go back to your Vault account and save the settings. So whatever settings you've configured will get saved right now. And this way you've successfully integrated SDP on demand with your Vault account. So next will be the integration with Zendesk. You can integrate a Zendesk by starting from your Zendesk account. You can go to your Zendesk account and click on the admin button you see here. Then select API from the channels category that you find on the left pane. Now you can click on OAuth clients, and under this tab you can select the plus option that you see, which I've highlighted in red here. Once you select this, you'll again be asked to enter client name, the description of the particular app that you're creating, along with the company name and logo, which are optional. Here you'll need to note that the unique identifier is the client ID. So whatever you enter here, you just make a note of it, since you'll have to like enter this in your Vault account as well. So make a note of it, and the redirect URL you can obtain it from your Vault account. So the client name again can be Vault or any name that you would wish to give. So once you're done with this, click on save. So once you click on save, you'll find that the client secret, which is the secret tab that's mentioned here, it will be auto-populated. So copy this and make a note of it. So once you're done, click save, and you're done with the configurations from Zendesk. You go back to your Vault account and reach your Zendesk option from the help desk integration page. So click on edit and enter the client ID and client secret. Like I had earlier mentioned, you'll need to enter your help desk URL for Zendesk. So enter the particular URL that you use to access your Zendesk account and save. And the next steps are quite similar. You will need to generate a token as usual for Zendesk. Click on generate token. A new tab will open wherein you will have to allow access for that particular client to read all the ticket data from Zendesk account. So click on allow and come back to your Vault account and save all the settings that you've configured. This way, your Zendesk help desk is successfully integrated with Zoho Vault. Next is the integration with Jira. So you can begin by logging into the developer console of Jira and by clicking on create new app. So once you click on create new app, you'll be asked to enter the name of the app that you're going to create. Once you enter the name, you'll see this particular screen in your display. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to make a copy of the client ID and client secret, which will be auto populated. So you can copy this and use it at a later stage when you go back to your Vault account, right? So once you make a note of this, click on the add option which you find on the left pane of your screen. So this will take you to the APIs and features page. So under the features page, click on add. And then you'll need to click on configure, which will appear in about 10 to 15 seconds after you click add. Here you'll be entering the redirect URL or the callback URL. This you can obtain from your Vault account. Enter this here and click on save changes. So finally, you'll need to give certain permissions that Vault would require while accessing the details from Jira. So for that, you can click on configure under the APIs that I've highlighted here. And you need to add the view permission for Jira issued data and view user profiles option. Just these two permissions will be enough. Click on add here. So once you've selected add, you're very well done with the steps that are required from Jira. Now go back to your Vault account and corresponding to Jira desk, click on edit. Once you click edit, you can fill your client ID and client secret as usual and click save. And again, generate token for Jira, so you can allow Vault to access the data from Jira desk. Click on accept and come back to Vault and save all the settings that you've made and finish your setup. And the last help desk that you'll be learning how to integrate with Vault is ServiceNow. So if you want to integrate ServiceNow with your Vault account, you can log into your ServiceNow account and search for application registry from the filter navigator option that you see on the left pane. So once you select that, you'll be seeing the application registries. So here you can see the list of application registries I tested earlier. So now you can click on the new option and create a new application registry. And the kind of OAuth application that you're going to create is going to be an OAuth API endpoint for external clients. So once you select that, you'll be asked to fill a list of fields. So the name is again the name of the app that you're creating. So I've given Zoho Vault here. Your client ID will be auto-populated, and you can enter any test comments that any comments that you'd like to enter. Redirect URL again is obtained from your Vault account. You can very well get that from your Vault account and enter it here. And if you would like to, set the time in seconds for which your refresh and access token will be valid, you can very well go ahead and modify that if you need, and click on submit. So once you submit, it will take you to the previous page. You'll be taken to the previous page like here. Click on Zoho Vault, which was the application registry name which we created. So once you select that, you'll see that the client secret has been generated automatically. So to view that, you need to select the lock shaped icon that I've highlighted here. Click on that. You'll see the client secret in plain text. Copy both the client ID and client secret, as you'll need to enter it in your Vault account in the next step here. So once you enter it corresponding to your ServiceNow option, enter your help desk URL as well. So once you're done with this, click on save. So as usual, you can very well go ahead and generate the token for ServiceNow, which will ensure that you allow the necessary permissions that are required for Vault to access the data from ServiceNow. So once you're done with that, click on allow and save the configuration settings that you've just set up, and you're done. So you've successfully learned how to integrate all the five help desk options that are available with Vault. So this completes the different setups that an admin has to perform to make sure that this option can be availed by users. So now how do I make sure that this option is available when my users are requesting when my users are requesting access for a particular access control enabled password, right? So we'll be seeing that now. So once you're done with the setup of all the help desks that you need to integrate with Vault, you can now go to the secrets page from where you can select the secret that you want to configure with access control. Or even if you've already configured a particular secret with access control, you can select that particular secret and click on the more actions option and select configure access control button. So here you can select the automatically approve access requests checkbox, and under that you can select the radio button called with help desk ticket validation. So what this does is it ensures that your access control enabled secret will come with the help desk ticket validation option. So you can save and activate it, and this will complete the setup, which will enable users to access these particular secrets or passwords with ticket IDs, right? So whenever a user requests for access to an access control enabled secret, they'll click on the request button, which they'll find corresponding to the secret. So once they click on the request button, they'll see this particular screen that you're seeing. Here, you'll be asked to enter the ticket ID, which we've been discussing about, right? So you can enter the ticket ID from the help desk, which has already been which has already been integrated with Vault. Enter a valid ticket ID, and if required, you can enter comments that might be needed and click on request. If your ticket ID is valid, you'll instantly get access to that particular password. Let's say you're requesting for approval in advance. If your change has already been approved, but the schedule window is say 10 hours or 12 hours from now, and you want to ensure that at that time you don't panic in the last moment, or if you would like to gain access to that particular password quite well before your schedule window begins. So what you can do is you can select the request approval in advance option, enter the ticket ID again and request for it. So when the schedule window is about to begin, at that time you'll get the access for your particular password. So this way, you can just ensure that your passwords are available for users on all genuine reasons and requests, and ensure that they are not misused in any way. And also you have a proper track record with every single ticket that is being created and referenced here with Vault, right? So this simplifies the password access process entirely, and also secures it in a good way. And the criteria which we were talking about in long, you can access that particular criteria from your Vault account by going to the admin tab, from where you can select help desk integration. Under that, you can select the help desk of your choice and click on the advanced settings option, which is available corresponding to each help desk. So we have different criteria which is available. For example, I said if a ticket is of high priority, you can give access to the user, and all that stuff, right? So you can explore the different criteria which is available from the advanced settings option. Go ahead, explore it, see what settings would probably be more suited for your organization, and select that particular option and enjoy this feature. So with that, we've come to the end of the help desk integration option. Now we'll be moving on to the cloud backup integration. Until now, all user backup data was sent to their registered email address, right? So with the cloud backup integration, admins can now allow users to send secure backup copies of their passwords to their cloud accounts by configuring whatever cloud service is available in Vault right now accordingly. So an encrypted HTML file will be periodically sent to a dedicated folder on the user's cloud account. So this way, your users can configure their particular account based on what cloud services are enabled by your admin, and that way you can ensure that you receive all these backup copies in an organized manner, and also ensure that only the right personnel get backup copies of passwords and not everybody gets backup copies, right? So we'll be seeing more about that, and that's what will be coming up in the next few slides. So before that, we'll see what are the different cloud services that can be integrated with Vault. So we have integration available with Amazon S3, Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive. So similar to the steps which we had seen with help desk integration, we'll be seeing the different steps you'll need to configure to ensure you have cloud backup available for your organization. So here there are two different configurations that'll need to be completed for this cloud backup to be available. So initially, the admin has to configure cloud services to be available across the organization from the available options that he sees under the admin and data backup option. So similar to what we did with help desk integration, we'll be generating client ID and client secret from the respective cloud accounts except for Amazon S3. So these details can be updated by selecting the edit option that I've highlighted here, corresponding to the cloud option which you want to integrate with Vault. So basically, an admin has to select and enable which cloud service that has to be available throughout the organization. And then based on that, the users can then go to Settings tab and click on Cloud Backup and configure their particular cloud account with Vault and get the backup copies in that particular account. So once an admin completes his setup, the users will need to link Vault with their cloud account. So this can be done by, again, clicking on the cloud service which is available, and the cloud service which the user feels is where they'd like to get their backup copies on, and click on generate token, which will then ask for permissions pertaining to Vault accessing data from that particular cloud account. So this is pretty much straightforward, and we'll be seeing this in detail in the next few slides. So before that, let's see the different types of advantages, different ways in which you can optimize this cloud backup feature. The major advantage you'll get out of this would be the ability to organize your backup copies in one place that will be easily accessible whenever needed. So you no longer need to search your mail for a backup copy from, say, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, which you basically might not recollect if you don't organize all the mails in a single place, right? And if you ever accidentally delete some password and need to revert immediately, you can do so as well with our cloud backup integration. Although storing these copies in a cloud account only increases their security, as cloud services themselves are protected with individual login credentials, right? Moreover, your backup copies are also encrypted and can be accessed only if you provide your passphrase to access them. So this gives you a +1 on your security. And finally, you can also define who does and doesn't get backup copies of the password in your organization by excluding people from the backup list. You can also ensure that users get a copy of only the passwords that they own and not the ones that are shared with them. So people who might have probably thought that, you know what, this is probably going to give all of my enterprise passwords to every user. No, this is not how it works. You also have an option which you can enable in a way that allows users to get a copy of only their personal passwords or the passwords which they own and not whatever that is being shared with them, right? So this keeps your organization's passwords in safe hands. So on that note, let's start with the integration with Amazon S3. So how can you integrate Amazon S3 with your Zoho Vault? So first log into Vault and go to the admin tab from where you can select data backup and click on Amazon S3. So before that, you'll need to ensure that you've enabled backup first. So once you enable backup, you'll be able to enable Amazon S3 for your entire organization. So you can select how often you want a backup copy and you just click on save. This will complete the setup from an admin's perspective, right? So also a small note that I would like to tell all the users is that in case there is some issue with your cloud account, or if the backup copy which is which is being sent to your cloud account does not reach your cloud account or does not go to your cloud account as expected, we'll also ensure that we send a failback. We have a failback option wherein you'll get an email copy of whatever backup is supposed to go to your cloud account. So even if there are some issues with your cloud accounts, don't worry, you'll still get a copy of the backup on your email. So if the issues are then fixed, you'll continue getting the backup on your cloud account as well. So once you enable backup for your organization and select how often you want it, you can very well go ahead and enable backup with Amazon S3. And like I was talking about earlier, you can include only the own secrets to be shared with the users. So secrets or passwords which are not owned by people, and whatever password is only being shared with them, they'll not be able to access it in the backup copy if you enable this option. So you can explore this option and then you can select accordingly. So now once you've enabled backup with Amazon S3, the admin setup part is done. So let's go on to what the user needs to do, right? So user, like I earlier mentioned, needs to go to the settings tab from where he can select cloud backup and Amazon S3. Here the user can click on edit, which will allow users to fill these three particular fields. The access key ID and secret access key are two fields which will need to be filled by the user. So these details will be with the users. So in case you do not have these details while setting up your Amazon S3 account, make sure that you reach out to the admin who helped you set up the Amazon S3 account within your organization. Or if you have a personal Amazon S3 account, reach out to Amazon and get these, because these details would have been shared with you at the time of your account setup. So enter those details in the fields here and enter the bucket name on which you want your backup copies to be sent. So in Amazon S3, the bucket name is pretty much your folder name. So enter the name of the folder or the bucket on which you would like your backup copies to be sent, and click save. And after that, you can click on Amazon S3 and generate token, which will then take you to your particular Amazon account. Here again, you'll be asked to link your particular account, Vault account, with Amazon S3, and that will pretty much complete your steps. Next, we move on to integration with Box. So to integrate with Box, you first log into the developer console of Box and click on Create New App. Once you click that, you can click Custom App and click on Next. The authentication method will be standard OAuth 2.0. Select that and click Next. Here you'll need to enter the name of the app. Like we've earlier discussed, you can give any name. This will be about your vault. So create app, and your client ID and client secret will be generated. So in order to view that, click on view your app, and this will display your client ID and client secret. Make a note of these. So you'll need to enter this in your admin page later. Enter the redirect URL, which you can again find from your Zoho Vault account, and ensure that you've given read and write access for all the files and folders stored in Box. So this will help you to send copies of your backup, and you just click on save changes to complete all the settings that you need to do from your Box account. So now go back to Vault, and from Vault you can go to your admin page from where you can select data backup and click on Box. Here you click edit to find this particular pop-up where you can enter the client ID and client secret. Click on save to complete this, and you can then go on and enable Box so that your organization will start receiving backup on your Box account. So now that the admin steps are done, we'll see what the user needs to do to get backup copies on their Box account. So for the users, go to your settings tab in your Vault account and click cloud backup, and click on Box and select generate token. So this will ensure that you link your personal account with Vault by giving access to your particular cloud account with Vault. Next, we see the integration with Dropbox. So if you'd like to receive backup on your Dropbox, log into the developer console of Dropbox and click create your app. Select Dropbox API and give access to only an app folder, since you'll be needing access to only one particular folder on which you'll be getting your backup copies, and enter a name for your app that you're going to create, and then click on create app. So this will populate your app key and app secret, which will in turn be your client ID and client secret. So make a note of this and enter the redirect URI, which you can get from your Vault account. And now go back to your Vault account and enter the client ID and client secret corresponding to the Dropbox field that you'll need to enter. Click on save and enable Dropbox for your entire organization from the admin tab. So this way you complete the setup that needs to be done from your admin's point of view. Once you click on save, you can now advise your users to link their particular Dropbox account from the settings tab, where they'll see Dropbox in the cloud backup option. They need to click on generate token to allow access to Vault, and then that pretty much completes the setup. Next, we see the integration with Google Drive. So open Google's developer console and go to OAuth consent screen, and then add zoho.com under the authorized domains that I've highlighted here. So once you add zoho.com here, click save. You can then go to credentials tab, from where you can click create credentials and select OAuth client ID. So once you select that, you will need to enter the application type to be web application, and also give a sample name for your app, which is Zoho Vault, which I've given as Zoho Vault here. And finally, you can complete the setup by giving the authorized redirect URI, which you can get from your Vault account. Click create. So you'll see the client ID and client secret on your screen. Make a copy of this and go to your Vault account, and from the data backup option, select Google Drive and click Edit. Enter the details of client ID and client secret here and save. After you're done with that, enable Google Drive and click Save to complete the setup that has to be done from an admin. Again, for users to link their individual Google Drive accounts, go to Settings and click Cloud Backup option and select Google Drive and generate token, which will ask you to allow Vault to access certain data from your cloud account. Allow that and complete your setup with Google Drive. And finally, we'll see how you can integrate with OneDrive. So you can log into the developer console of Microsoft and click on Add an app. So here you'll need to enter the name of the app, and you'll find the application ID below. So the application ID is your client ID in this case. So make a note of it and click on generate new password that you find below. Once you click generate new password, your client secret will be populated here. Copy this and make a note of it and click OK. You'll need to select the platform here first, which will be web. So click on add platform and select web as the platform. And in the redirect URL, you can enter the URL which you obtained from your Zoho Vault account. And finally, you'll need to give files read write permission in your OneDrive account. So if you find any other permissions, you can remove it and just enter or add the files read write permission, and you can complete the setup. And as usual, go to your Vault account and enter the client ID and client secret details corresponding to your OneDrive account. Save it and also enable OneDrive for your organization. Save, and once you click on save, cloud backup will be enabled for OneDrive, and users can configure their particular OneDrive accounts by going to the settings tab and selecting OneDrive from cloud backup option. From here, they can click on generate token to link their individual cloud accounts with Zoho Vault and thereby start receiving backup copies in their particular OneDrive account. So this pretty much completes the different setups that that we had walked you through. If you still feel that you need a little bit more help, if you'd like want to read through the help docs that would probably give you more clarity, you can do so from these particular links that you see here. These are the different resources that could help you. Just feel free to go through these links at your own convenience. Or if you'd like to ask questions, you can do so right away. We've come to the end of the session, guys, so you can very well go ahead and ask your questions. So we've got about 15 minutes, so we can very well take questions from your end. So feel free to ask as many questions as you'd like. And before I come to a conclusion, this particular help desk integration is available only in the enterprise plan, and the cloud backup option is however available from your standard plan, right? So just a small info. So any questions, guys? Also, let us know if you would like a copy of the recording as well as this presentation so you can make use of it at a later point. Just give us your email address using the chat option here. It'll be really helpful. Yes, Daniel, I'll be really glad to send you a copy of this presentation. Yeah. Do you have any questions regarding the use cases or probably on any setup that you didn't have proper clarity on, or feel free to ask any question. Yeah, yeah, Charlie, I'll be sending you a copy as well on that particular email address. Thank you. And yeah, thank you, Meenakshi. We'll be sending you a copy of the presentation as well. Can you also let me know your email address to which I should send this particular copy? Yeah, no problem, Simon. We'll definitely send you a copy of the presentation and the recording as well. No worries. Sure, Manakshi will be sending a copy of this to your corporate email address. Any other questions, people? We have quite a bit of time which we can utilize. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask, you can go ahead and post it using the chat option that you'll see under the questions tab here. You can also give your feedback if you'd like to see more of this, or if you'd like for a separate session on certain topics as well, or if you like the session, or if something didn't feel right to you about a session, just feel free to let us know about anything. Also, let us know if you'd like to go ahead and implement this with your organization as well. Let us know if you have any interesting use case that you would like to implement as well. It could help the other users as well. Okay, guys, if there isn't any other question, I'll probably close. Okay, so Meenakshi has just recently moved to Vault, and welcome to Zoho Vault, Meenakshi. I hope you're having a good experience. If you have any feedback or any questions, just feel free to ask us. We'll just wait for a couple more minutes, see if anybody's got any questions, or if not, we'll wind up this session. You can also send me any feedback if you'd like to interact, or talk about some particular use case that you might like to implement, which you might not be completely aware of. You can always reach out to our support. You can send a mail to support@zohoworld.com if you have any queries at a later stage. You can reach out to us and get things clarified, or if you'd like to give any personal feedback, or if you'd like to probably access different material, you can also write to me at meenaksr@zohocorp.com. I hope this session was informative and helped you getting started with these new features of Vault. So if there are no more questions, guys, I feel I can wind up this session. I'll just give 30 more seconds to see if somebody's got any question, or we'll be done with this. So people who might not have any other questions, you can feel free to drop off from the session. Thank you so much for taking time to attend this webinar. I hope you can make use of these features in your own organization as well. Okay, I guess that's about it. So thank you so much, guys. So feel free to reach out to us at any point if you have any questions, and we'll always be there to help you out. Thank you. Have a great day.